Proton eMas 7 PHEV video 2. Whew. Of all things, the sun decided to come out right now. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Alright guys, welcome back to video number 2, sort of like a follow-up to my original video on the Proton eMas 7 PHEV. Now in today's video, I want to focus more and talk a little bit about the driving experience, but bear in mind, again, full disclaimer, I'm not a professional car reviewer, so anything you hear on this video is going to be my personal thoughts, sort of like how I would share with a friend if someone asks me how's the drive like. And secondly, since I'm not that pro, I don't have this professional gear where I can put the camera on the glass and speak while I'm driving. So I decided to stop the car and just speak to the camera in this quiet spot. All right, let's talk a bit about the drive. So first up, got a couple of points down here. Some of you have been asking, like, do you actually hear the engine sound? Like, is it very loud and all that? Personally, the engine only really kicks in when you floor the pedal. So say for example, if you're just driving on a normal drive, cruising, maybe you're just accelerating towards 100 km/h or maybe up to 110. No, you will not hear the engine kick in at all. It only really kicks in and you hear that vroom sound, and that's only when you really floor it, gao gao, like one shot, or maybe when you are trying to go from 110 higher up and you are just pressing a lot of the pedal. So it's sort of like if you press the throttle all the way down, that's where you actually hear the engine kick in. But if you just drive like normally, very seamless cruising, normal kind of city drive and all that, you practically do not hear the engine sound at all. It's a very silent drive, very comfortable. So that's what I really like here. Now, secondly, in terms of high-speed overtaking, I think I did mention this in my previous video, that I like the way the car is able to pick up fairly quickly, and this helps me to overtake lane hoggers. But what about if you are trying to overtake someone at 110? Let's say you're on the highway, you're doing 110, you just want to overtake the guy in front who's doing maybe 120. So in this case, you probably need an additional power to actually overtake that guy. And the good thing is that for the eMas 7 PHEV, you definitely have sufficient power to actually overtake with ease. So that's great there. Sorry about the plane, by the way. All right, another thing that I did notice here, because I was actually on this morning drive to the airport, dropping off my family member. And what I noticed is if you do not actually look at the speedo, cruising at just 110, you might accidentally go higher than the speed limit, like 120, 130, or maybe even 140. And that's because the drive itself is so seamless, it's very quiet. And like I said earlier on, if you don't floor the throttle all the way down, it's just going to be a seamless cruise. And without any intention, you might actually be hitting speeds of 140 km/h. So I think that's actually a good thing because it just shows how stable the car is, how nice and seamless it just drives. So I think that's great in that sense. Another thing that I should also highlight here is I managed to find out what's the top speed of the car. I mean, obviously you can go and Google that as well, right? So basically, once you hit speeds of 160 km/h, a small notification will actually appear on your dash, and that will say that you are reaching or you are nearing the top or max speed of the car. So the car maxes out at 175 km/h, and once you hit that number, you can't go any further. You can't increase the speed anymore. Okay, another thing that I should also highlight here is in terms of the wind noise. So personally, I do feel that the wind noise is only prominent when you go above 120. So if you are someone who always drives within the speed limit, 110, the max you go is 110. The entire drive, like I said, is going to be super quiet because not only will you not hear the engine kick in, you will be so silent, and I think that's going to be very comfortable. Now, one thing about the drive that I thought is worth mentioning here, and let me try to explain it as easy as I can so that you can understand what I'm saying. Let's say you want to turn straight to the left right now. Usually, you will use 1 times your power, but for this car, you need to go 1.5 times. That means you need to steer the steering wheel a little bit more in order for you to achieve that same turning radius. So I found this, personally, I'm not a fan of this. I wished it was more one-to-one with what I'm feeling on my steering wheel. But I noticed that it doesn't matter if you are driving at high speeds or low speeds. Whenever you just want to go into a turn, you have to do a lot of turning of the steering wheel. So any other eMas 7 PHEV owners out there, if you have a similar experience or maybe your experience is not like that, feel free to leave a comment down below. In terms of the range and all that, actually personally I've been driving a lot of the EV mode. It's called the pure mode right now, and the pure mode itself is also a very, very interesting drive. So it feels, again, like I said, the keyword here I keep using is seamless. Now, if you are someone who drives in the city and you actually charge in your home, so for my case, I noticed that my condo actually provides the Type 2 charger. So I bought the Type 2 cable, which costs about 300 ringgit. and I was actually able to charge it on a daily basis. So because of that, I've been using the pure mode quite a fair bit. You have enough power, again, like I said, until 110, where if you really need more power, you have to use the hybrid energy. EV mode on a daily basis is definitely very doable, especially since in today's landscape where we want to try and save on our petrol consumption and all that. If you have, again, a landed property or your condo supports charging, definitely you can drive on EV mode like throughout the entire drive. Now, last but not least, one final note that I want to mention here, and this is something that I found a little bit annoying, and that is the jingle that the car produces, I think, at about low speeds. I can't remember, is it like below 30 kilometers per hour or below 40? Because that jingle is actually, it gets annoying over time and it stays in your head. Like that ringing bells and ding ding dang dang like an ice cream truck and all that. It does stay in my head, and sometimes when you're on the highway and you're just cruising at 30 kph, like on Federal Highway in the jam, you will also be hearing the jingle. So I'm like, the jingle is useful if you're in a quiet area, like with people crossing the streets, pedestrians here and there. But on the highway, you also get that jingle, which can get annoying at times because the car is so silent and you hear that jingle. And like I said, it does stay in your mind. Like sometimes I've parked the car, gone back to my condo, and I still hearing the jingle in my head. So is there a way to turn it off? Someone let me know down below. I don't think I see it in the settings. And yeah, that's it for the drive. Oh, one final thing. Before we go, it's worth mentioning that if you are going to be carrying heavy items into your car, the boot itself is actually very high. So even for myself, 175 cm, I still found it a bit high. Like I was sending my family member to the airport earlier on, and we had to put the 25 kg luggage into the bag. So we had to really lift it up high and put it in. So that's also something that you need to take note of. If you're going to be bringing in a lot of luggage, a lot of stuff, fairing stuff here and there, you will need to lift it up fairly high compared to maybe whatever you are driving right now. Okay, with that said, I think I'm getting a sunburn. The sun is so hot, guys. I hope today's video has helped you out in a way or another. If you have any further questions or things you want me to test out with the car, let me know down below as well. Gotta go, guys. See you, and hope you guys have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.